What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my next NBA free agency video, and actually got a pretty big plethora of free agency news to go over the last 2 days. It's been a pretty eventful 2 days in between all of the trade rumors, signings, the whole Draymond Green thing, the whole Mitch McGary thing a few days ago, and maybe the whole Russell Westbrook thing coming up. But let's go ahead and start with the first transaction, and I think it's a really good one. The Chicago Bulls signed Isaiah Canaan to a 2-year, $2.2 million deal. Isaiah Canaan's proved himself to be at least a serviceable point guard in this league when he was with the Sixers. Hasn't really had a chance to prove himself with a great team yet, I don't think, at least consistently. And I'm not going to say the Chicago Bulls are a great team, but it adds point guard depth for a really cheap price, so good move in my mind. The Memphis Grizzlies waived Tony Wroten. So probably thinning out the roster a little bit considering how many moves they've made for free agency this year, and considering they're also probably going to be starting with their they're only two draft. I'm pretty sure they're only 2 draft picks from this year's draft. So next one, the Golden State Warriors officially signed rookie Damian Jones. I think that Damian Jones will actually be a solid fit with the Warriors. He's a guy that's kind of young and raw, but a guy that's a good scorer as a 7-foot center, and like I've said it multiple times, I think he has potential to be a very solid center in this league for years to come. So next move, the Miami Heat signed center Willie Reed. Again, the Heat have a lot of room to sign players now. They did get Tyler Johnson back, but after losing Dwayne Wade, Luol Deng, they got a lot of money to work with and some roster spaces to fill. Which leads to the next one. Miami Heat also signed for Stefan Jankovic, something like that. Next move, the Atlanta Hawks waive Lamar Patterson. Not much to say about that. Next one, pretty big news out of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jordan Hill signs for 2 years. I don't remember if that was 18 or 8. I don't think it was 18 million. It's a little much for Jordan Hill, considering a lot of people were saying that was a steal. I believe it was 2 years, $8 million. Let me confirm that. Let's see here. I know it was for 2 years and it involved an 8. Okay, that's the wrong one. Oh. Alright. Well, all right, let's move on to the next one while I'm trying to find that. Pablo Prigioni signs 2-year deal with the Houston Rockets, so Rockets adding point guard depth. Yeah, it was $8 million for Jordan Hill. All right, next one. Christian Wood, the forward, signs with the Charlotte Hornets. Again, they lost some of their big men to free agency this year, probably just trying to add a little bit of depth. Christian Wood probably not going to be a guy that's going to be a rotation guy yet, but, who knows. Next one. Maurice, I believe it's Ndour or just Dower, signs with the New York Knicks. Next one, Randy Foye signs with the Brooklyn Nets for 1 year. I think that's actually a pretty solid pickup for the Nets. Randy Foye had a pretty good year last year, actually. Believe he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, let me just check up on that. Yep. And again, provides just some added depth to a Nets team that long term is actually looking up finally. They made the moves I think that they needed to, and while they probably won't be competitive this coming season, I think they actually have a few things in place to be competitive maybe 4 or 5 years down the road. Kind of gutted everything which they needed to do in the first place, and finally clear up some of the cap issues and move on. So next one, I don't know how I feel about this, but Anthony Bennett signs 2-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Kind of a forgotten name in the last year or so. I'm assuming all y'all remember Anthony Bennett, what was it, 2013 first overall pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Massive draft bust so far. Again, I'm probably long-term going to be that way. But you know what? There's going to be pretty much no pressure on him in Brooklyn. He'll have the opportunity to play with a team that's doesn't really have any pressure for expectations this year. So, again, it's a brand new situation. See if that's maybe one he'll thrive in. So, next one, Joe Harris, again, signs 2-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. So, Nets making moves. And then, pretty big news out of New Orleans. They signed Terrence Jones to a 1-year deal, which I kind of like because they get to add some depth to the front court. Terrence Jones, a guy that, can play in the rotation, can start at times. And, is a more mobile power forward, especially was better than the combination the Pels had than with Omer Asik and Anthony Davis, but that was a while ago. That did fail miserably. And then Ryan Anderson's obviously a different player than Terrence Jones, so it's a different change-up of front court rotations. And then last news. This is not so much something that's taken place yet, obviously, as it is just a rumor, but it's a big rumor and could change the entire landscape of the league. It is talks of a 3-year deal between the Boston Celtics, LA Clippers, and Sacramento Kings. That's what it's rumored to be right now, involving a trade with Blake Griffin, probably to the Celtics, draft picks to the some of the Celtics plethora of draft picks over the next few years to the Kings, and then maybe like some Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley combination, or Terry Rozier also, and then also Rudy Gay over to the Clippers. So knocking out two of the bigger players on the trading block that have been talked about over the last couple months. Rudy Gay, only so much over the last couple weeks, but I did a video on him yesterday, said that I actually didn't say that the Clippers were one of the landing spots for him, but that is actually a pretty intriguing landing spot. Granted, if they lose Blake Griffin, that opens up a spot at power forward, but also the Clippers, since they might be losing Chris Paul and Blake Griffin this coming off season, that might be something that they're trying to at least get some value now. Maybe have Rudy Gay for 4 or 5 years, use up the last of his, get through the last of his prime, and then see where you can move from there. Last news that I actually forgot about, I had mentioned this before, so it's why that's not that big of news, but Manu Ginobili looks like he's going to be signing a 1-year, around $10 million deal with the San Antonio Spurs. I had already announced he was going back to the Spurs, though, so it hadn't been officially done yet, but it looks like it will be done within the next day or two, and see where they can move on after that. But anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this video. Like I said, a plethora of news to get through today. You know what? Free agency is really, it's been very eventful this year. It's carried out through, 14 days now. And like I said, as long as there keeps on being like this much big news, I'll keep bringing you guys the news every single time I feel like there's enough news to present in a entertaining way. I don't know if entertaining news to present. So that's pretty much it. See ya.